What's up, Fragrant World? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. My name is Justin Copeland. On this channel, Stay Fresh Productions, we talk about all things dealing with fragrances. Any interest in that kind of content? Then wow, you're in the right place. Welcome. You are at the brink of the Fresh Squad. If you have not joined the Fresh Squad and you're not sure how to do that, I'm going to tell you how to do that. It's very simple. Click that subscribe button and that's it.
That's it.
You're part of the squad. You are elevating your freshness exponentially. You're gonna feel it. Everyone else around you is gonna smell it. Today we are doing another review on a Michael Molo London fragrance. I just reviewed Citizen Jack earlier this month. You can check that out here. Not my favorite from the house, but a very nice scent, nice quality, and kind of a unique profile. So check that review out if you want to know more about Citizen Jack. But today we are talking about the newest release from the house. And I do have to say, I think this is my favorite from the house so far. We're talking about Jet Black Intense. Now, if you already know, one of my favorite fragrances from this house for a long time has been Jet Black Reserve. I must have you know that these two fragrances have nothing to do with each other. They have a similar bottle. Obviously, they're kind of in the same line, but the fact that this is Intense and this is Reserve means that they are not the same. This is not based on this, so there's no comparison whatsoever. But this simply smells wonderful. If you want to know what it smells like, I also reviewed this recently, so check that out. I am really digging this stuff. Now, I wore it several times. I've loved it every time. It took me about 2 wearings to realize what this reminds me of. I have it here on my arm. It smells really sexy. I'm sorry, it just does. At first spray, and maybe for the first 15-20 minutes, this is going to remind you of Creed Aventus. It doesn't smell like Creed Aventus, but it is reminiscent of Creed Aventus. Now let's talk a little bit about the note breakdown, because that is one of the most prominent aspects of Aventus that people know about if you know Aventus and you enjoy it. And people often like to draw comparisons to other fragrances if they do share some of those very prominent notes. The notes in Jet Black Intense are, in the top we have apple, elemi resin, and mint. In the heart we have lavender, clary sage, and juniper. And in the base there's patchouli, vetiver, and suede. Now, are any of those notes in Aventus? A few. We do have apple, we do have patchouli, but that's it. Those are the only notes that are in common. Now, could there be some extra notes in this fragrance that they're not mentioning? Maybe, but I don't think that's the case based on what I get to my nose. What you see is what you get. The overall profile is fresh. It's a little fruity and sweet, very aromatic, and it's quite woody. It's beautiful. At first spray, it is very sharp. You're gonna get this very sharp, lemony, aromatic freshness. The lemon coming from probably elemi resin, which is known to have a bit of a lemony or citrusy facet. Even though it is a resin, there's a freshness to it. But you're getting apple and mint combining together to create a very juicy, fruity, sweet freshness that is simply mouth-watering. You get kind of a similar combo out of Tommy Hilfiger for Men, one of my favorite fragrances, using apple and mint together as well. Doesn't smell like that, but that facet, you could extrapolate it and you put it here and you kind of get a little bit of a similarity there. It simply smells phenomenal, really. Very fresh. As we move into the heart, we do get lavender, we get clary sage. So it stays fresh, it stays aromatic. Clary sage adds kind of a sweet herbaceousness, so it does stay sweet. And juniper adds a little bit of this kind of deeper, richer, piney quality to it that is a little bit green, but overall staying sweet, staying a little bit juicy, and staying very fresh and drying down into some very smooth suede. The patchouli is very much in the background. I don't get much of it. The vetiver does add a woody nuance, but it does not scream as vetiver. And I'm so thankful for that, because my skin loves vetiver. Anytime a fragrance has vetiver in there, even if it's just a little
Baby tiny half of a minuscule drop,
my skin is like, oh, vetiver's in this fragrance, and it like sounds all the alarms and tells everybody,
hey, there's vetiver in here.
And it comes to the forefront and it kind of takes over the scent. But here the vetiver stays blended well. It stays in the background just as a woody supportive character, really just giving a nice kind of almost musky sexiness, this dry woody sexiness to the sweet aromatic nature that kind of dominates this fragrance. And As it dries, it smells a little bit less like a Ventus for sure, but I do have to say, if we're gonna put it in that realm, I like it way more than the current batches of a Ventus. It's just sweeter, it's juicier, it's fruitier. It's not as complex, but it still is very good quality. It still has a nice richness to it, and it sticks around a good while. I was surprised by the performance on this stuff. I was getting 8+ hours of longevity. It stays pretty present all the way through. It's gonna obviously sit closer as time goes on, but that's expected. It sticks around. There's some fixative nature to this, so it's not gonna just dissipate super quickly. It's crisp, it's woody, sweet, and aromatic. Fairly simple. Obviously not the most unique profile here, but smells fantastic. If you use the code STAYFRESH20, which is still valid, you can save 20% on any purchase from Michael Muller London's website. So utilize that, check it out, save you some money. If this does sound interesting to you, check it out. If it doesn't sound interesting to you, then there's probably some other fragrances from the house that might interest you more. Again, I will have those videos linked up, maybe in a playlist where you can check out all my Michael Muller London reviews, see if there's one you might like better, and check that one out. So that's all I have to say about Jet Black Intense. Again, I'm really loving this stuff. If you've tried this fragrance, let me know down in the comments what you think of it, or if you have just any general thoughts based on this review, how it sounds to you. I'd love to know what you think. Leave a comment down below. And once again, consider joining the Fresh Squad. Subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing. You can always change your mind later for whatever reason. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.